mysterious video surfaced online, showing a group of people dressed in uniforms eerily similar to the ones in the Squid Game series. The footage appeared grainy, as though it had been filmed on an old phone. Yet the chilling scenes suggested it wasn't staged or fictional. In the video, several blindfolded individuals with their hands tied stood inside a circular arena, surrounded by masked figures who seemed to be orchestrating an illegal event. The video sparked intrigue and fear. The participants' faces bore unmistakable terror, and viewers couldn't determine its origin. The video was cryptically titled, "The Real Game: Survival of the Fittest." A journalist's curiosity. John Woo, an investigative journalist, stumbled upon the video on a shadowy forum known as Digital Shadows. His curiosity led him to dig deeper. When he tried to gather information from other forum users, he was met with silence. Most users warned him to leave the matter alone, claiming it wasn't a hoax but a recording of an actual event that took place on an isolated island. One anonymous user, going by the name Former Player, revealed unsettling details. According to them, a secret organization recruited individuals drowning in debt or facing financial ruin, offering them a chance to participate in a high-stakes game where the reward was life-changing money. The catch? Losing meant death. Journey to the island. John's obsession with uncovering the truth led him to a cryptic email one day. The email contained a single line, "If you dare, the truth lies here." Attached was a link leading to a plain website requesting personal information. Hesitant but driven, John submitted his details. A week later, he received a text message. "You've been accepted. Be at the dock at midnight." John arrived at the designated location, where he was greeted by a silent man wearing a mask. Blindfolded and restrained, he was transported to an unknown location. When the blindfold was removed, he found himself on a remote island surrounded by water. The game begins. The island housed a massive facility with multiple rooms, surveillance cameras, and armed guards. John was forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement under threat of death if he ever spoke of what he witnessed. Over 100 participants, all desperate and burdened with crushing debts, stood shoulder to shoulder. The first game was red light, green light, reminiscent of a children's game, but with a horrifying twist. Anyone who failed was immediately shot by masked guards. Terror gripped John as he realized this was no elaborate prank. This was survival. The dark truth. As the games progressed, John uncovered horrifying truths. This wasn't just an underground operation, but part of a global network catering to the entertainment of the ultra-rich. These elite spectators wagered on participants, treating them as commodities. The games weren't about helping the desperate, but exploiting them for sport. In a daring move, John broke into the control room and discovered the identities of some of the wealthy individuals behind the games. However, he faced a chilling choice: escape with the knowledge or risk his life to expose the truth. The unsettling end. John managed to steal a small boat and escape the island. However, upon reaching the mainland, he was ambushed by masked men. The last thing he saw was the cold, masked face of one of the organizers whispering, "Curiosity kills more than the game itself." The following day, a new video circulated online showing a man thrown into the ocean with a caption, "Curiosity is not always a virtue." John was never seen again. A game that never ends. Years later, the original video resurfaced, along with new footage showing advanced stages of the game. The challenges had become more gruesome, the stakes higher. Reports of missing individuals linked to the games emerged worldwide, though none could be verified. In 2013, a blog titled "The Last Survivor" appeared, claiming to be written by someone who had escaped the games. The author posted cryptic images and messages, alleging the games were still active and warning others. If you receive a mysterious invitation or text message, do not open it. The game might already be watching you. The connection to Squid Game. When Netflix's Squid Game premiered in 2021, many viewers noticed unsettling similarities between the fictional series and the rumored real-life games. Some believe the show was a deliberate attempt to obscure the truth, while others saw it as a subtle advertisement to lure new participants. Are you next? To this day, the mystery remains. Some say the organization went underground after gaining attention, while others believe the games have evolved, becoming even more secretive. For those who've watched the videos, a lingering paranoia remains. The feeling of being watched, the fear of being chosen. So, if one day you receive a strange invitation, would you dare to open it? The game might be closer than you think. And the ultimate question lingers. If the truth is out there, are you ready to face it? Here's the real true story for people wondering. No, Squid Game is not a true story or anything like that, but there was a harsh and brutal place in South Korea in the 80s, disguised as a welfare facility for the homeless and people with severe disabilities. It's called Brothers Home, and basically a lot of homeless PPL wanted to be there due to being homeless, but many were abducted and sent there. Most of the people who were abducted and sent to this place weren't even homeless. Tons of children were taken there as well. They would shave their heads and force them to wear a blue tracksuit, and they would get forced into cruel, unpaid labor, and they'd face horrible consequences if they did not meet the guards' expectations. Basically, they'd get beaten up with clubs and severely abused. Some young boys were even SA'd by the guards. The man in charge of the place was said to have personally murdered 40 to 50 people there, but at least 513 have been confirmed dead. Most of these deaths were due to malnutrition, but lots of them were from getting beaten to death by the guards. These guards did not care at all. If they were out hiking to a place where they could do more labor and someone sat down to take a break, the guards would whack them in the head with their wooden clubs. A survivor actually told a story that a guard killed a man this way. An adult who just wanted to rest for a moment, killed in 1 second over nothing. In BTW, the walls and stairs were not pink and green. Those pics online are AI generated, and the guards did not wear masks or red-pink suits, just regular uniforms. The people in Brothers Home were actually referred to by numbers instead of their names. I didn't know until recently that they actually did play games at the Brothers Home. The games were not like Squid Game though. People were forced to stay in the same harsh position for a long time, basically an hour or so. And if you sat down to take a break, the guards would beat you with their clubs, sometimes to death. One of the games were a particularly cruel one, where a guard would stand in front of someone and yell, "Left indicator," or "right indicator," and they would whack the person's left or right eye with the club. And for anyone wondering why people would do this and who, basically, this welfare facility was state-run, so the government knew about it. It was set up to be a sense of hope for the homeless and anyone deemed undesirable by society, so lots of children and people with disabilities, and of course the homeless. They did it to basically clean the streets of the trash, to put it harshly. The Olympics were upcoming, and South Korea's streets were filled with homeless people and disabled people. So they basically wanted to remove them and give them a place to stay and a place to work and earn money, while they also basically did the whole cleaning the streets of trash to make the country look good for the Olympics thing. So it has similarities, the blue tracksuits, numbers instead of names, tons of deaths, in fact more deaths than in Squid Game, per game I mean, and the cruel guards who would also sell body parts and entire bodies on the black market.